days out here in West Texas. Gonna do a night out here in the Davises, and then a couple of nights probably a little bit east of this in the eastern Trans-Pecos. But once it gets hot, flipping's pretty much over, and I start to look west a little bit. Now, I don't have a whole lot of great expectations for this next 3 days, but I'm hopeful. There's been a bunch of rain in the eastern Trans-Pecos. In fact, so much so today that it's really not worth hunting there. But there has been a little bit of rain up here in the Davises. A little bit today, a little bit yesterday. Not enough to really soak it and stink it up. But I'm hoping that it's just enough to get things going today. And then as it warms up tomorrow and the day after, in the eastern Trans-Pecos, I'm hoping that kind of dries things out and allows the hunting out there to really turn on again. And excited to see what pops up tonight. So yeah, I'm almost to the road that I'm going to cruise here before dark, and then I'll get on the cuts and let's see what we get. All right, first snake of the day. Looks like a little Atrox. Hey, healthy little Atrox. Alright, gonna help this guy across the road real quick. Kinda hoping it was a scoop, but it's not. They're so pale out here. Alright, go on, bud. Go on. Alright, cool. Now it starts buzzing. Alright, 99% sure this is a Lepidus, which is pretty awesome. Really cool. Look at you. Second snake in the night. I cannot be disappointed seeing one of these guys. Alright, well, he's aware of me. I'm going to bag him up real quick and get some photos of him. Wow, what an awesome snake. Alright, I just spotted this little dude in the road. I know, believe it or not. And I can't tell. I'm gonna have to hold on to it. It's a really nice black head. I don't think that this is a small cuckolata, but it could be. I just don't know enough about these. I mean, it'd be cool if it was a small cuckolata. It's got a different shaped head than I'm used to. Really neat. I love Tintilla. Alright, so this should be a little blacktail I just saw. Yeah, that's exactly what we got here. Oh, so nice. These guys, in my opinion, really look nice. You know, if you don't bag them or do anything like that to them. But as soon as you bag them up, they really seem to lose a lot of their contrast, and they don't ever look as nice. And look at, you know, what's really curious about this? Now look at the size of this snake. Now he's probably maybe 1.5 feet long. It's got to be under 20 inches. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 segments, 8 or 9 segments on that rattle. And man, he's tiny. He's really not been getting a lot of food. I'm not gonna delay him any longer. He's trying to cross the road, so I'm gonna help him across real quick and then carry on. But really glad I got to see him. It's been a little bit since I've seen a nice blacktail. These guys are... Alright, so this is the second Lepidus of the night. This is a little bit more... Wow, look at this tiny little guy. This is so cute. I'm not gonna get my hand too close, but just look how tiny that little dude is. He is quite minuscule in comparison to the last one that I got. It's not nearly as pretty either, but yeah, I'll probably get some photos of this guy too. Really cool. I'm gonna get a quick little on the road shot. Very neat. Zippy. Cool. Alright, so drive in, and here's a big coach whip. Looks like we can't catch it. Alright, chance he's going up. I bet. Maybe he found a hole. Big coach. Alright. Well, dang, he's faster than I thought he was going to be. Did he go up or not? Yeah. Ah, shit. Missed it. Well, darn. I mean, oh, there he is. He's climbing. He is climbing. Yeah, get my hands on him. It's on top of the tree. That's so cool. Look at him up there. Alright, I'm gonna get my hook and flip him down if I can. At this point, just can't see myself getting it. I mean, that is a thick, spiny little tree. Gotcha. All right, come on. Oh, all right. That was a really fun chase, at least for me. Did I just lose my hook in the process of this? Ah, I did. There it is. Cool. All right. I'm not gonna hold on to this guy for very long at all. I just really, man, that was a fun chase. Man, what a cool looking dude. You are a lot of fun to look at. I just might get some photos of this guy real quick, because I'm about to get photos of the lepidus from yesterday. What a neat snake. Alright guys, so this is that first rattlesnake that I found last night, and man, what a pretty snake it is. So out here in the Davises, they generally tend to have kind of a little bit pinker coloration, but this one's showing some kind of orangish coloration to it. Man, it's a really pretty snake, and man, I'm really glad I got to see this guy. This was the first of two leps. The other one's a little bit more typically colored, but this is such a super neat snake. And one of my favorite leps that I've ever found. Really pretty guy. Really well contrasted, not muddy at all. Really nice looking snake. And anyhow, I just got through getting pictures of this guy, and let him go. Really cool. What a pretty dude. What a cool guy. Finn, you're ruining the video. You're ruining it. You're being too noisy. so it's my second day out here in West Texas, and I've moved a little bit further east. Yesterday I was in the Davis Mountains, and it was a pretty good night. I actually had a really good time, but it's really dry over there. So I decided to head east for the next couple of nights. So tonight and tomorrow night I'm going to be focusing on Terrell and Pecos counties. Now, this region is the eastern Trans-Pecos, and generally in terms of numbers of snakes, it's often a little bit slower. But it seems like it's a little bit better for Alterna in terms of numbers that pop up over here versus the western localities such as the Davises or River Road or Black Gap, you know, and places like that. But man, I've been out here, been coming out to West Texas since I think 2014, and I've seen it green before, and I've seen it look really nice before. Of course, my first trip out here, it was just an absolute horrible drought. But this is the first year that I've ever come out here and it looked this green. In fact, there's been so much really good rain recently. I mean, the grass is just beautifully green and lush, and the trees and new growth on the trees is still very soft and supple. So as it dries out, this is going to get harder, kind of crunchier. And then of course, as you walk through on the dried grass, you know, it starts to kind of get that crunchiness to it. But we've got all this new growth. It's got so much moisture that it's really got a spectacular feel to it. I think the next couple of nights are going to be really good. Honestly, I think anybody who's out here for the next week is going to have a really good time. But I just wanted to come out and look at this cut. Passing through an area I haven't really hunted before, but man, I just like the way this looked. I wanted to get out and walk for a little bit with Finn. I mean, who knows? It could feel great, but I get absolutely no footage tonight, or get absolutely no snakes. So that is always a possibility. But yeah, so Finn and I are going to walk along this for a minute, just kind of stretch our legs, maybe go turn over a couple of rocks. It's unlikely anything's gonna be under them because it's just hotter and absolute hell out here. But yeah, I think that the next couple of nights are gonna be a lot of fun, and I look forward to seeing what pops up tonight. All right, guys, night 2, here we go. Oh, hey. All right, first snake of the night. Real pretty atrox. Ah, look at you. Finn, hush. Wow, healthy. Real pretty, a lot more contrasted than the one I saw last night in the Davises. Cool. All right. Shit. He did not like that. Okay, that is not the banded snake I thought it was gonna be. That is a coral snake. Alright, I am gonna capture it. Wow! Wow! This is my first West Texas coral snake. That is awesome. Alright, cool. So I was trying to get a video with another porcupine a few minutes ago, but ended up not getting the GoPro running. But here's another one just down the road. Look at this thing. These are so cool. Hey, buddy. Hey. Hey. Oh my God, these things are just, I love these things. All right. One of my favorite mammals. All right. Look at him just like climbing up this tree. I wonder if he did some of these like bite marks, it looks like on this. Nope. All right. Well, I don't want to scare him too much. I was really excited to see that guy. Cool. All right, these guys are super common out here.
but always fun to come across. All right, guys, so this is that coral snake that I found pretty early into the night last night. And, you know, I see a lot of coral snakes down in South Texas and in East Texas, you know, closer to Houston where I live. And I, you know, almost didn't pick up this snake to take pictures of it. You know, these guys can kind of be a pain to photograph. They really like to move a lot. And generally don't pose well for nice portraits and good field guide shots that I like to try to get. So I almost didn't grab it, but then I thought about it for a minute. I was like, well, I've never actually seen a coral snake out here in West Texas, and I'd like to get some pictures of it. So I decided to hold on to it, and I told a couple of people that I'd found a coral out here, and they said, well, I've never heard of anybody finding one in that area. So I decided to look into it a little bit more, and it turns out that for Crockett County, there has only been one other documented specimen, and it was a snake of an unspecified location, just generally known as, it was a snake from a unspecified location. I don't want to give too many details, but there was no exact coordinates for it, so we don't know exactly the range or distribution here in Crockett County. But that specimen was found in 1958, and there has been just an absolute ton of other herpers that have come out here and found alterna, they've found milk snakes, they found lepidus, lots and lots of other snakes out here in this specific area. But in the last 63 years, not a single person has turned up a coral snake. So knowing that, I started to get a little bit more excited about it. So I'm going to get some good pictures of this guy, and I wanted to share a little bit more about it. You know, the habitat out here gets a little bit more rocky, but as you kind of move between those hills, you've got a lot of alluvial deposits. And if you look at the soil right here, this is basically what we have between the hills. If you look off over there, we got a hill there, and then of course, you know, hill back here. But in between here is this really softer soil, sandy, and of course it holds a little bit more moisture because everything drains down here in between these hills. And you know, if you were to walk out in that habitat out there, a lot of it's indistinguishable from much of what we see in South Texas. And I imagine that there's a lot of South Texas species. I don't really imagine, I know that a lot of South Texas species will follow these riparian corridors and these valleys up between these hills. So you get kind of this mix of southern and western species. And that's why we get these coral snakes that apparently are here, but very rarely get seen. And I think that they're probably in greater abundance than people know, simply because where the road is and where most people are spending their time looking is in the little bit more rocky areas, right? This road is just basically at the bottom of these hills over here, and where these guys are going to want to spend most of their time is going to be basically in the middle of this riparian kind of valley in between these hills. So I imagine there's not a whole lot of specimens that even make it up to the edge of these hills like this. But anyhow, you know, really lucky to have come across this snake. You know, it's not like I targeted this and just got, you know, the second ever one out here, but man, what a special animal, and what a treat to get to see something like this that very few people have had an opportunity to see out here. You know, I imagine locals may come across them once in a while. Who knows? These are pretty secretive snakes, and considering how hot it gets out here in West Texas, I doubt that they're out during the daytime a whole lot. I'm back. It's gonna be my last night out here in West Texas, the third night I've been out here. Last night was a really good one. I ended up getting that coral snake, really exciting finds to find the second ever documented coral snake from Crockett County. Really exciting to have found that. And in lieu of that find, you know, knowing that those people have found so many other snakes out here and not seen a coral snake, the fact that I found that snake last night gives me a lot of good feelings about this area here tonight. So I'm looking forward to seeing what turns up. Got a little bit more of a breeze, feels like a little bit better day. So I think the hunting today is going to be a little bit more productive, but you never know. West Texas can trick you and make you feel like things are going to be good, and then it shuts you out and you're out all night looking for snakes and you don't see anything. So that is a possibility that can happen, but it doesn't feel like that's likely. I think there's going to be some stuff active tonight, and I look forward to finding out what it is. I'm going to take some photos and maybe get some drone shots here before dark, and I will check in with you guys here in a little bit. Now, what do we have here? A little tentilla. Yeah, it's a first snake of the night, and not a bad one. These guys are always cool. It's just, I want to find cuculata. I have not seen a cuculata. Look at this guy's really pale nose. Yeah, let me get a still shot of this dude real quick. At least something's out. Not a zero night. That's always a plus. Shot. Yes. Guess that's as high as the color temperature goes. Yeah, neat snake. I like these little guys. I can't get a little bit better look at him. Okay, well, that's cool.
That's fucking beautiful.